Jerry Coyne. You know Jerry Coyne?
Jerry Coyne, yes, dear old Jerry Coyne. Well, Jerry Coyne, he's different from P.Z. Myers. Jerry Coyne is a genuine scientist, a good scientist, and obviously, although he's retired now, he's been at a top-notch American university, University of Chicago, which always has had an extremely high-quality biology department. And there's no question that Jerry, has kept his end up there. And I don't know how much one would say he's done really groundbreaking work, but I think everybody would say that the work he did on speciation and that sort of thing was really pretty damn good. I think anybody who said, well, what should I do about speciation? The first thing you'd say is go and read Jerry Coyne's book on it, because I think so I want to say straight out that I have a lot of respect for Jerry as a scientist. Having said that, Jerry, he's I won't say an also ran, but he's a bit of a late comer to the new atheism thing. They were going, and then, as it were, Jerry joined in, and he's joined in. What was it? Beyond Faith? I forget what his book's called, and to a certain extent, he's playing a little bit of the second fiddle. I guess that would be a good metaphor. And of course, he says all sorts of rude things about me. So I'm quite happy to say, Jerry Coyne, the Jiminy Cricket of the New Atheist movement. I think my best one is referring to as Saint Jerry of Chicago, arguing that he too is into this science religion sort of thing. So I wouldn't say that our relationships are always warm and friendly, but that doesn't mean, as I say, I think when he's talking about the science-religion relationship, I think he's lunatic. I think he's completely wrong. But more than that, and this is something that does irritate me, perhaps less about Dan Dennett, but certainly about Dawkins and about Jerry Coyne. I won't talk about the others. I don't think they do their homework.
You think Jerry Coyne is a lunatic?
Well, I think the trouble is, I don't think they do their homework. If Jerry wants to talk about the science-religion relationship, then I think it behoves him to discover what religious people believe. And not all religious people are creationists. Not all religious people are Roman Catholics or Thomists. There are a lot of people, for instance, like Karl Barth, who followed Kierkegaard, who want to say it's all a matter of faith and that reason doesn't enter into it. And I think that these are a serious. I'm not saying that means that makes Christianity right, because I don't think it does. In fact, I've just recently written a book with a Thomist friend, Brian Davis, where we take up these issues. But I do feel that if I'm going to criticize somebody and say that they're wrong, then I have the obligation to take seriously what they're going to say. So, for instance, suppose I was going to write an article, I don't know about Trump, but suppose I wanted to write an article saying why I think let's say the Republican Party is philosophically incorrect. Then I think it behoved me to read what some of the better thinkers, to take seriously what they're saying. Now, I can disagree with them. Let's take something like a national health. I think we could disagree, and we might, whether or not there should be any private medical stuff at all, as you get, say, in Europe a lot, or whether it should all be the state, which is, of course, what you have in Canada, or what exactly. So, as I say, I do think that there are places for debate, and I think we could disagree. And I could well imagine that I might disagree with a conservative about universal health care or that sort of thing. But I think even if I want to say that they're wrong, especially if I want to say they're wrong, I should understand why they're saying what they're saying before I start criticizing. And I feel that people like Jerry, and I think Richard Dawkins too, are altogether too given to taking some parody that they may have got, as children, or they may have read in the paper, or they may not have done, and as it were, criticizing it. And I think that's bad scholarship. I don't, to be fair, maybe I'm just defending a fellow philosopher. I find this less of a problem with somebody like Dennett. I think partly because he doesn't, he obviously is a new atheist, but he doesn't, as it were, take on some of the broader sweep, you know, criticisms that you find in somebody like Dawkins. That he's more concerned to look at particular issues that he wants to deal with. So as I say, I think it's perfectly legitimate to be a new atheist. But I think if you're going to be one, then you ought to be prepared to make a reasoned case for it.
Very good.